So welcome back, it's Nick from the coach station, and now today's stop is at the back glass. Imagine a scenario where I've got my two net players at the net and me and my partner at the back, and they've played a low volley that's kept pretty low in here at this height, and then I've either got to play a neutral ball back or try to defend off that shot. There are a couple of common errors that we see with our players in the back glass here. So when the ball comes in, what can tend to happen, instead of sidestepping backwards, what they do is they turn so they face the glass, and then they're unable to position themselves in a place to hit the ball effectively. So that's number one. The second thing they might do is they might just stay here in this position, and as the ball comes like this, they have to then scoop the ball from that position to play. So those are probably two of the most common errors. Now, if we think about the ball coming in, I've positioned myself at the back here. The first thing I'm going to do is to try and get the tip of the racket back, elbow tucked in before the ball bounces on my side. So if you watch my other video on early preparation, you'll realise that the racket has to be back in a certain time before the ball bounces. It's not just early prep. Okay, let's have a specific time when the racket is back. So the racket tip is here by the time the ball bounces. So we're looking for that. And then as that comes back in this position, the body's going to maintain a sideways position as we then go back towards the glass. From this position, once we've got in here, we've gone from our ready position, the racket tip is back, then we're going to sidestep back to the glass. Okay, keeping the ball tracked over my left shoulder so that I can see where it comes. And actually, to start with, what I'm going to try and do is get a little bit closer to the glass than I need to, because it's much better for me to be too close and then have to stretch forwards rather than here and trying to play the ball behind me. So I'm going to sidestep all the way back to the glass, let the ball hit, okay, and then from that position, play out in front of my body. Now, the key to a really good shot off the glass here at the back, so that you can choose what you want to do, is you've got back in this sideways position, and then the ball should be hitting the glass, and then leaving, and then being able to hit it in a comfortable position, like level with the front foot or just slightly in front of there, right? So we're going to go back, sidestep, close enough so that actually then you can play the ball just out in front. Now, once we get back in this really good position here and we've got sideways on close enough to the glass, we've got choice then, because if the ball comes up, I could play a lob, but if the ball stays low, I might just have to play like a smaller chiquita over the net, or just a general shot back over the net. Now, to get the racket tip back, the wrist opens here, and some people like to say, well, it's like a door hinge. You know, this is the door, it hinges open. Some like the rudder on a ship. Those sort of analogies will help. That's, you know, analogy teaching. So to use that as an analogy, then to sidestep back and then play out in front. But the key thing is that actually the wrist is just going to open and turn in this position. There are a number of progressions that I might use with a player to start understanding this position. The first would be to get the racket tip touching here, okay, and then somebody bounces the ball in and then they hit out in front. The next would be to make a small side step back as somebody throws, and then they could hit. And then finally, from a ready position, turn, sidestep, and then hit in front again. Before next, hitting the ball from over the net onto the back glass, and then be able to play a chiquita, a lob, or whatever they choose. So, in summary, from a ready position, tip of the racket goes back before the ball bounces, using the rudder, opening the wrist, elbows tucked in, and then sidestepping back to the glass, as close to the glass as possible, particularly if it's a slow ball, and then be able to sidestep back out with it to then be able to play the shot. Now, it's also worth mentioning, sidestepping into the glass, but also sidestepping out with the ball as well, helps to maintain that sideways position through the contact. And that's it. We've reached the end of the stop here. Hope you enjoyed the session on the back glass, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.